Storm Amy hit Ireland today, with the west and northwest bearing the brunt of the gale force winds and rain. A man in his 40s has died due to a weather-related incident at a house in Letterkenny, County Donegal, and more than 124,000 homes, businesses and farms are still without power tonight, and dozens of flights have been cancelled or delayed, while some roads are impassable due to flooding or fallen trees. Weather warnings remain in place across the country, including a status orange wind warning for Donegal, Leitrim and Sligo.
After relentless rain over a 24-hour period, winds picked up noticeably in Salt Hill at around lunchtime today. The situation here mirrored along the western seaboard. Gusts of 148 kilometres per hour were recorded in North Donegal, with speeds of 120 kilometres per hour clocked in Bailawirrad in County Mayo and at Cownmassa Observation Station in Connemara this afternoon. A 2-hour status red wind warning was implemented in Donegal during the peak of the storm activity.
We just parked up and I thought I'll go out for a wee walk just to see how bad it is, and it is quite bad.
We tried to hold it out as much as we can, but then the foreman just said no more. So then we packed her up then and left a wee bit earlier. So there's nothing you can do about it, but just get on with it then.
Tonight the entire country is covered by a status yellow alert, with all of Connacht, Donegal and Clare under an orange level wind warning until 10 p.m. Met Éireann says winds will ease and conditions will improve as the night progresses.
Even as Storm Amy moves away, we will still feel the impacts of her during Saturday. After midday on Saturday, then winds will start to ease off a bit. So we'll see an improvement then as we go through late Saturday and into Sunday.
Attention will now switch to the clean-up operation and the wider infrastructural requirements in the aftermath of another severe weather event. In the short term, that will involve clearing debris, flood alleviation works and the restoration of essential electricity services. The wider societal impacts of such storm activity are also likely to come into focus over the coming days.
We're joined now from Letterkenny by our northwest correspondent Shane O'Correen, and Pat McGrath, our western correspondent, is in Galway for us tonight. And Shane, to you first, and perhaps firstly you can bring us some information about this tragic incident in County Donegal.
Yes, Ray, some sad news from Letterkenny tonight. A man in his 40s has died after he sustained fatal injuries at a domestic residence in Letterkenny after 4 p.m. this afternoon. It's understood the man may have fallen from a height. His body has been taken to the morgue at Letterkenny University Hospital and a post-mortem examination will take place. We understand this was weather-related. Gardaí continue to carry out inquiries and a file will be prepared for the coroner.
And Shane, what is the general situation then across the region where you are?
Ray, Storm Amy has left her mark from Malin to Carrick-on-Shannon. In terms of public transport, there have been delays on the train from Sligo to Carrick-on-Shannon. Donegal Airport closed at 2 this afternoon. We got word of the red alert at shortly before 1:30. That came into effect at 4. There was no public transport during those hours between 4 and 6. We've heard of power outages across the region, and ESB crews say that may come into tomorrow before power is restored to all customers. Talking to the local authorities here in the northwest, there's multiple trees, branches and debris on national, local and regional routes across the region, and they are working on a priority basis to clear those routes. And again, that work on the local routes may continue into tomorrow as well. The storm has affected sporting events. For example, the Derry City against Sligo Rovers game has been pushed back until Sunday. That was due to take place at the Brandywell tonight. The expected clean-up, as I said, will continue into the weekend. And in terms of advice from local authorities and Gardaí, they're urging people to heed the public warnings until the weather warnings has passed, and also drivers who are on the roads to exercise caution as there may be loose branches and trees on the roads. And in terms of those loose branches as well, they're urging people to check with the ESB networks in case there are power lines or utility lines overhead, Ray.
OK, let's go to Pat in Galway, and as well as where you are right now tonight, Pat, what is the picture across the country?
Well, as you said earlier, 124,000 customers without electricity tonight, Ray. That's down from a figure of 184,000 at tea time this evening. But at this stage, ESB Networks hoping that the worst has passed. But at the same time, it's unlikely that many of those 124,000 homes, businesses and farms will have power restored tonight, given the accessibility and logistical challenges involved. ESB Networks will have crews out at first light tomorrow to recommence the reconnection effort, and in the north 50,000 customers are without supply there in the aftermath of Storm Amy. Of course, it's a case of deja vu for thousands of customers, particularly in the west and northwest, who are experiencing a lack of electricity this evening. It comes just over 9 months after many homes were left for days without power in the aftermath of Storm Éowyn, and the impact of Storm Amy heartbreaking in some instances to see that a lot of work that had been carried out in the months since last January has been undone, leaving sporting organisations, businesses and property owners with more repair-related headaches as the winter approaches.
Yes, indeed. Pat McGrath and Shane O'Green, thank you both.